But before all that, time to meet my first guest today. An actor for over 20 years, he's starred in everything from Silent Witness to Murphy's Law and worked with Hollywood legends including Gwyneth Paltrow and Penelope Cruz. But you may know him best as dodgy-dealing Chambers clerk Billy Lamb in the hit legal drama Silk.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Clive, hold on to your trousers. Reader, QC.
David, he's been arrested. What? For what? Killing a police officer.
Please welcome Neil Stuke. So, first episode tonight, that's a bit of a shocker, isn't it, really?
Yeah. Straight in there.
Yeah.
No messing.
But with a great cast, Rupert Penry-Jones, Maxine Peake. It looks to me, sneakily, as though you actually have great fun doing this.
We do. We have a lot of fun, actually. Yeah, I mean, the poor guys have to do all their courtroom stuff, which, of course, being a senior clerk, you have to do.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's boring, but after a few days, you know, weeks and weeks and weeks that they're working on that trial, because obviously they program it all into that spot. You know, they're so relieved by the time they get to Chambers, and that's where it's fun time.
So you get all the good gags and all that, yeah.
We have all the fun up there, yeah.
So presumably, if they're in a courtroom like that, Neil, are they doing then scenes from different episodes, all in the court in that?
Yeah, we do two at a time.
Yeah.
And you know, it's running over two eps each story. So, and they put it all into one.
Yeah.
So by the time they get out of the court, they're so relieved that Funtime Frankie's here. Come to the Chambers.
Has it given you a different view of the legal system than you had before you started doing?
I don't think it's given me a different view, but what it's done is that, you know, I have so much more knowledge about it now, and you know, I've been invited into the inner sanctum. You know, I've met many senior clerks now, and go and meet lots of them in Chambers, and I have a much better understanding of it all. But you know, if any of you have not been to Temple in London, you really should go, because
it's another world, isn't it?
It is another world, and it's steeped with so much history, and you know, since Dickens' times, and it's just wonderful to be there. It's a beautiful part of London.
But you are very much a wheeler-dealer, head clerk, aren't you? A kind of rule-bender kind of chap.
Yeah, well, so they say. I mean, they are very, you know, they get sort of tagged with the mark of being sort of barra boys, you know, East End barra boys, and they're pretty tough guys, and they're selling their wares, you know, they're selling their barristers, you know, so they're sort of duck and dive and bob and weave, and they've got a lot of common sense, you know, whereas perhaps the barristers haven't. And, you know, they're the sort of conduit between the solicitors and the barristers, and they are quite bullish, you know, and they're pretty tough guys.
Has it given you more respect for the legal system?
Yeah, I think I've always been a sort of political animal anyway, and so I've always had a lot of respect for the legal system. But it's so complex and so interesting, and so many facets, you know, that it's a fascinating journey, you know.
Endless discoveries.
Yeah.
But you're about to meet your nemesis in a way. You've got a new sort of. What's she called? She's not head of Chambers, because that's the main sort of barrister guy.
Yeah, she's a manager, you know, office manager, practice manager.
That's it.
And so what it is that's the new, and I'm very much the old, and there's an incredible clash of the new and old. And as in real life, you know, these guys have been brought in to sort of like put you know, get sort of clerks to rein them back in and stuff. And so, you know, these practice managers are not liked, and you know, there's a lot of suspicion and fear. And I think, you know, it's brought in with Billy. You know, he's also suffering from prostate cancer, and you know, and he's, you know, becoming more emotional with that treatment.
See, that's another dimension for you, isn't it, really? Because you've been very much, you know, it's the outer carapace.
Alpha male, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think it was very important for Peter Moffat, the writer, to sort of bring that in and sort of see what happens when these, you know, along with that treatment, you know, with the hormones and stuff, how a man like that can become more emotional.
But what a way to kick off a series with Head of Chamber's son being accused of murder. And so Maxine Peake's going into bat for him, I gather.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Maxine came on it, what an amazing actress. What a long way since Twink in Dinner Ladies.
Amazing.
She's done amazing work, hasn't she, since then?
Well, I think she's probably the best actress, dare we say, the world. I mean, I think she's astonishing. And when you work with her, you know, the level of professionalism, you know, you really have to be on your game to be with her.
Talk to a lot of actors on here, and it seems to me to be very much, it's rather like, in one respect, playing tennis. You raise your game to suit your opponent. And when you're working with people like Maxine, do you feel it doesn't raise your own game?
You know, she's very, very serious about the craft, you know. And when you're with someone who's so committed to it, you know, you really do. You do feel like you have to step up your game. I worked with her in Faith, you know, about the miners' strike.
Yes.
And I was really blown away by it. Yeah.
Well, if you're blown away, we'll be on screen. Now, stay with us, because we are about to meet